What up, world? Welcome back to Black Door Media. I'm your host, Pro, aka the Renaissance Man of Gaming.
And I am the Black Hand of the Black Door.
Okay, and today, it's gonna be a tough subject.
What we gonna talk about?
Well, got a few emails from some people, and they were a few guys, and they wanted me to touch on a subject that I'm pretty much gonna be cannon fodder on this shit. So
You'll see the guy sent the topic. You see the one or two things. See the money or pussy.
let's just say niggas ain't having money issues. So we're gonna talk about you ladies, but not in the way that you think I'm going to. In fact, I want all you ladies to just come on, bring it in. We're gonna get into a huddle. We're gonna have a talk, and somebody's gotta love you enough to tell you the truth. You know how your true friend is the one that'll tell you, hey man, you kind of musty, my nigga. Like, you might want to hit the pits a little bit before you leave up out of here.
Now, when we talking about ladies, are we talking about all women in general?
I'm gonna just direct this to my sisters. You know what I'm saying? I don't really.
So we talking about black women.
Yeah, I ain't trying to help everybody else. I'm trying to help us.
No doubt.
But it's not advice that everybody couldn't use.
Okay.
Okay. It's not race specific, even though I'm talking specifically to y'all.
Yeah.
It's more something that all y'all can use. So, okay, had a guy, he was having some issues, wasn't understanding how some things wasn't working out in his relationship. I won't go into detail about it. I'll just go into explaining. Anyways, I think there's some rules, and I'm gonna say rules and not guidelines. Guidelines are kind of like, you should do this. Rules are, this is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. So we'll start with what we call the cardinal rule, and we can call this cardinal rule, don't try to change anybody. The shit does not work, will not work. The only thing you're gonna do is drive a wedge in your relationship with that person. Now, what you could do is be somebody worth changing for. Okay? There's a difference. You trying to change me and you being worth the change.
Now let me ask you a question. With this being something that you're aiming at, black women in general, is that something that you feel like black women have a problem with? They try to change the men that they date too much?
I think it's a big issue. I think a lot of women get with dudes that ain't shit because they see potential. But I would like you ladies to define potential for me. Tell me what potential is. It ain't nothing we can see or touch. Like, you just because a nigga has feet doesn't mean he's gonna be a track star. That's not potential. Like,
or is it they see what you would call potential is what basically the attraction.
Maybe
where a woman is so attracted to a man that she that
she see what she want to see.
Exactly. Basically it's a mirage.
Yeah. And the nigga knows to keep his mouth shut enough not to fuck this up. So, yeah, it's like I said, just because you got feet don't mean you a track star. So, potential isn't measured in anything that we can see or touch.
It's nothing
like,
tangible.
I can't, like, a nigga can be smart, which could be potential. He could run a potential business, but it takes more than potential to do anything. I could be good at something and never try it, and it doesn't matter. It takes potential, motivation, fucking determination, perseverance. Like, there's a lot of key aspects of what you need. So
basically, when like, it's almost like saying you see, like seeing a guy with the potential to be a great guy, as opposed to actually getting with a great guy and getting what it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, if a nigga's got that much potential, he's already on it. If you see that potential and he ain't doing nothing, it ain't there. You making it up. Any nigga that knows he has potential is already putting his time, is putting that potential into something. It ain't nothing you gotta make him do. Okay? And that's the thing. Ladies, cardinal rule, don't try to change niggas. The only person who can change themselves is themselves. Like I said, you can be such a catch that he will change for you. Like where all his other past relationships, he treated them like crap, but he felt like he found a diamond this time, and he gonna make sure he treated it such. But if you sit there and try to make him be this and make him be that, you beating a dead horse, honestly.
Okay.
You know, so learn the
Cardinal
difference. Learn the difference between changing somebody and being worth the change. So I think a lot of women would do good to follow that rule.
Okay.
That's the cardinal rule.
Cardinal rule. So what's next?
I would say the first rule, you know, is we gotta be honest. You know, be honest with yourself, man. There's some women out there, you know, who are like into some real freaky shit. Like, man, y'all be turning it up. You know, y'all was turning it up before niggas was talking about turn up and all this other shit. It was some ladies that can crank that bitch up to 11 on you. But you want to play the sweet role.
Speaker box, bitch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so an example is that. Example of that would be, I meet you, you got this little sweet demeanor about you. You know.
Oh,
And
I don't fuck niggas that I don't have sex with people I'm not in a relationship with.
Yeah, like, okay, so boom, you got this persona you put up, and Rim put it best. It's called your representative.
Yeah.
When you put that mask on, like when you're at work, you're your representative. You represent yourself in a different manner than you are at home. So if I meet you and start talking to you, and I meet your representative, and that's not who you really are, so the first time we do something, and you supposed to be this whole sweet girl only slept with one dude, and you blowing my damn back out because you gave me some head, and it's like, oh well, you just naturally good at that. No, come on, like there's a lot of things you need to be honest about, because if you playing this little sweet role and you go find a dude like that, there's a part of you that's not gonna get satisfied, and then that's where you stepping out comes in.
And you know, okay, so that makes sense, because with, you know, that's basically misrepresentation, like a misrepresentation of who you are. Not saying that it's okay to be loose or it's okay to be flirty or overly sexualized and no shit like that, but I guess it paints the wrong type of picture for a nigga who's, you know, for a person who's looking for a specific type of woman, and you put that front up, and then when y'all get in the bedroom, you're totally completely different type of, but I don't think that should work on a sexual level. I think that should work on just, you know, like a regular dealing with each other level, because you can set yourself up to being, you know, dealing with someone for a long period of time and wasting your time when y'all really not compatible, y'all really not what each other was looking for.
Yeah, and then not to deviate, but men do it a lot of times too. They put that representative on where he taking you out all the time and buying you stuff all the time, and that's not really who he is.
Hell no.
And then when his representative,
I'm talking flowers, I'm sending gifts.
When his representative goes away, you wondering what happened to the romance. The romance didn't disappear. He couldn't hold up the facade anymore. You see what I'm saying? But everybody's so used to being fake with each other. Had you accepted him, had he came and been real with you, and vice versa.
Well, then again, no, because you gotta treat. I feel like you gotta treat relationships and dating and shit. You gotta treat that shit like it's a job, like, cause you're not gonna go to your job and show like who you really are before you get the job. Because when you start work, you're one way. Especially when you fresh and you new on the job, you putting up the front. It's yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. You in that bitch. You fresh every day. You starch down, and then when you in that bitch and you in that bitch. Like, then you are who you really, really are.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the same way in a relationship. Like, you don't want to start out like, shit, I'm not romantic. I don't do the motherfucking flowers. I don't do the go out on no date shit unless it's for a specific reason.
Yeah.
Like, I'm that type of nigga. Like, I don't go out unless we have a reason to go out.
That's the same reason. Like, you just highlight your attributes. Even when you go on the interview, you're going to highlight the good things about you. Yeah. You're not going to make it seem like you flawless and you can do everybody's job in this bitch, because you already know when you get comfortable, you're going to do the bare minimum. And that we just creatures of habit on that.
Yeah.
So even when you bring your representative, you need to highlight your attributes accurately.
That's
highlight them accurately, because you can overtalk some shit. You can overhype some shit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think that goes for men and women. Be honest with yourself about who you are, and you know, kind of be on some day one shit.
Yeah, like and I think the soon if we're honest with ourselves and people start being upfront about what they will accept and what they won't accept, I think we'll go a lot farther. And I think this helps me come up with the next rule. So if we're being honest with ourselves, then the next rule would be the person that you looking for. If you fucking on the bus and shit, don't be above the nigga. Don't be above talking to a nigga who also rides the bus. You understand? Like, I can understand you shooting for a nigga who may have a car or something. That's fine. But if you on the bus and the nigga got to have a Ferrari or a BMW to talk to you, that's a bit much. Come on, now I understand we aiming for the fences, but let's be realistic. You know, you can't sit here and be like, you know. And I think I'm going off of women that I've heard say this. I ain't saying all women do this, but I've heard chicks. Hey, you ask a chick, well, what are you looking for in a man? Oh, he got to have. And the first thing out their mouth is material shit.
Material.
He got to have a house, good ass job, fucking yacht, all this other stuff. And you don't have a fraction of the things you asking him to have, but he's supposed to accept whatever you got. So if you got like, you know, 3 or 4 kids and he got no kids, I'm not only supposed to take care of you. 3 kids that ain't mine, I'm supposed to pamper you. Yeah. I'm supposed to bring you out of your situation in the minds and you have no means of bettering what I have.
Enough said. I don't even see the need to elaborate on that one. That one is like picture perfect.
Well, I think so. And well, before I move on, if you ask, you know, and again, I've talked to a lot of different women, you know, and mostly, like I said, let's be honest with ourselves. Black women are the queens of doing that. You ask them what they typical guys like. Material shit gonna pop up, and it'll probably be the first thing. If it ain't the first thing, it's gonna be the most thing. Okay, but if you ask, let's say,
a white woman.
Okay, well, let's ask a white woman. She's gonna say he's gotta be nice and kind and sweet, because she already knows that material shit is a gift.
He has to have a sense of humor.
That ain't even a topic for discussion. He gonna have money, so I'm not gonna waste the choice saying he need to have money.
And even if he don't have money, even if he's a nigga who happens to not have a job, or he's a nigga who's on his come up, or whatever the case may be, she gonna fuck with him just off the strength of he putting something with something.
Yeah.
You know, where most black women is like, shit, you gotta have it all, and they little something is they something, as opposed to it being our little something. And I think that's the type of mentality that's actually kind of taking the black woman a step back in the eyes of the black man, because it's not about, you know, it's about 10. At the end of the day, you and I could be together and we could be trying to build something, but if I'm going one direction and you going the other direction and we're working against each other, we're not a team.
Yeah.
We're just two separate entities going in opposite directions, and that's a recipe for failure.
Yeah.
Off top.
We tug of war.
Pretty much.
You know. And that's kind of what it is. We need to, you know, kind of focus those goals and understand we in this together. Like, that's the whole reason you date somebody, is because you're looking for a companion. Now, you're not dating to be fucking.
Now let me ask you a question, because you don't want people to get confused about listening to what you're saying. Okay. Are you in a relationship?
Yes.
How serious is your relationship?
I'm engaged.
So these rules and guidelines that my nigga Pro is outlining to you, these are not things coming from someone who, you know, doesn't know what they're talking about. This is someone that's in a serious, deeply committed relationship. He's engaged to his woman, so he has the levity to give, you know, to where he feels like he should give his advice on the subject. So we don't want anyone to think that we bashing anyone, or we trying to tell anyone,
pulling shit out of our ass and all that other stuff. I've had many relationships fail on me. My fault being me being at fault, and the girl being at fault. And I felt like if I could save a few brothers and sisters from this heartache and this headache, then I will. You know, I think it's high time we start, you know, if a nigga knows something, you should teach. You know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to keep all the information for yourself and shit. It's about time we start passing that shit down. But, you know, yes, I'm not pulling the shit out of my ass. I ain't saying I got all the answers, but I do think I got a good idea in which direction to point you. You know what I'm saying? If, like I said, if you disagree, you always know what the comment section is, and you can let me know. So we'll go with this last rule because I don't want this video to be super long, and we'll just continue to add to them. So before I let class dismiss, let me leave y'all with this one. Ladies, you gotta stop being so bitter about the last guy. You got to let that shit go, because you letting, you know, the last dude, you making the next dude clean up the last dude's mess. So you'll give your all to all these nothing ass niggas, and then the good nigga gotta front the bill for all these niggas. That's fucked up. Come on now. Like I said, if you use these rules that we set in place, I promise you will screen niggas a lot better. I promise you. You gotta start looking at niggas' background. Like, if he got 3 other kids with 3 other women, and you don't ever see that nigga with his kids,
he's probably not the nigga you want to be fucking.
He's probably not the nigga you want to have a baby with. You want to fuck with the nigga, then fuck with the nigga. But don't have a baby with him.
Wrap it up.
And then be like, I can't believe he did me like this. He showed a habit of doing it. So that's all. That's your own fault. That's your own fault. But you'll take that bitterness and take it to the next nigga, and it's his fault. And you'll treat him the way you should have treated that first nigga. You won't let him in. You've been hurt before. We all been fucking hurt before. Get over yourself. You ain't the only one that had your feelings hurt. Yes, men have feelings too. We just not as emotional as y'all. We're logical. We're straightforward thinkers. We don't bounce back and forth. And that's the thing. Like, you know, they say opposites attract. The only thing opposite about us is we males and y'all females. But opposites attract, because, in prime example, all the niggas I hang with think like me. You see what I'm saying? Niggas with money hang with niggas with money.
Yeah.
Let's get out of that bullshit opposites attract shit. If you out there like that and you like to sleep with a lot of niggas, you probably hang with a lot of other females that sleep with a lot of niggas. Yeah. Birds of a feather flock together. They've been saying that. There's so many sayings that show opposites don't attract. Okay? The only thing opposite about us is our
sex.
Yeah, that's it. But like I said, ladies, if you touch that hot stove and burned yourself, don't hate all other stoves because you made a mistake. You knew it was hot when you touched it. Come on, man, let's smarten up out there and let's make some better choices. Cause we got a lot of kids growing up without daddies, and that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? That's not a good look.
But put a disclaimer with that, because we can't totally blame the woman for that.
No, and I'm not. But let's make some better choices out there.
Touche.
You know, we don't, just because you sleep with a nigga don't mean you have to get pregnant with him.
Touche.
You have to get pregnant by him. I'm sorry. And children make or break a situation. It does not make a nigga stay. It will make or break a situation. So
it'll make or break your situation with the next nigga.
Yeah.
Because nowadays I'm from the era. I'm old school as far as old school goes. I'm from the era when your pops was gone. Your pops was gone. You know, your parent, like your mother, she either started dating or she was married, or if you was raised by your grandmother like I was, you know, you always had that uncle who ain't really your uncle, he your grandmama boyfriend or some shit like that. So I'm from that era of time. Nowadays, niggas will stay around just to keep fucking their baby mom and fuck up her situation.
Yeah.
So having kids can definitely make or break your future situation. And I say I've been there. I'm the single one of the crew. I think all of my partners are in relationships or engaged or in some type of serious relationship. I'm the single one, and I choose to be single because I'm sick and tired of having to carry motherfuckers. I don't have any kids.
You do run into some shit luck with women.
Shit luck like a motherfucker. And it'd be the craziest shit, because I think my last 2 or 3 relationships been with women who had their shit together, and then when they get with me, they shit fall apart, and then it'd be like, I gotta carry every motherfucking thing. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I was in a situation with a woman where she was a school teacher. She's probably the best woman I ever had. She started out, she was a school teacher, and then she caught a case that really wasn't her fault, so it kind of ruined her life. that situation ended so badly. So badly. I was going back and forth from Dallas to Austin, working, trying to help her keep her situation together, and it just ended up really, 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 really badly. And it just put a bad taste in my mouth, because most women, you know, they act like, you know, men should be the heads of the household, and you should be able to carry everything, and you should be able to shoulder the load. And I'm that type of guy. I will shoulder the load. But when you're not appreciated, it really falls to nothing.
Show a nigga that you worth that burden.
Yeah, for real.
And it, like I said, reverse back to that cardinal rule. Like, be worth that change. Because niggas not going to just shoulder the load for any old body. He want to shoulder the load for the one that's worth it. Pretty so, much. Ladies, if you want to keep that guy, be worth it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying y'all are worthless. Y'all just ain't found what your worth is yet. Okay? And once you find that, he'll notice that, and he'll come correct.
Well, now since we doing, and since, you know, the black door is taking this step, you know, my nigga Pro, he's doing these guidelines and rules for dating and things like that. I'm gonna challenge him to not only do guidelines for women, I'm gonna challenge him to do guidelines for men.
That's gonna be fucking hard, man. Niggas don't listen. Women don't listen either, but
women don't listen, but at least try. So it doesn't seem like we placing the blame squarely on the woman's shoulders. Let's place some blame where it's due at the men's shoulders too.
Okay.
So I challenge, and I may be in the next video, I may not. It just depends. Like I said, I'm merely
gonna see the feedback we get on this one. If it's good, we'll keep it going. If it's okay,
whether it's good or bad, I say you keep going, because it's just keep doing.
It's real shit right now.
It's real shit. Continue to do the job.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and leave off right here, not to hold y'all up all day and stuff, because, you know, 20 minutes out your day is like, what? I got too much shit to be doing.
I could be watching basketball while I was loving hip hop Atlanta.
That shit ain't going nowhere. Y'all should start watching that shit too. Oh, and the next topic will be about thinking like a man. Yeah, let's stick to our genders, people. You can no more think like a man than I can less think like a woman. You understand? So we'll end it right there, and we're gonna come back with that.
Until next time, I am the Black Hand of the Black Door,
and I'm Pro, the AKA Renaissance Man of Gaming, and your access has been granted. Y'all holla back.
Stay stand up.